Good evening, readers. So, Oak Bloke here, and welcome back. It's been a while since it feels like it's been a while. Ordered a video, so um, I'm going to look at Gore Street. So, just a couple of short, hopefully short videos. Well, we'll see. We'll see how long it takes. But this is Gore Street, and this is a one-year chart, and it's been falling for a year. It was back here where I said, um, I included it in the Oak Bloke 25 for 25 ideas, and it's fallen more since then. So I think it's down about 10% since wherever it was around here that I included it. But we can see there's a little bit of a bounce today, and so I kind of wanted to talk about why is there a bounce? So a couple of things really that's going on. So helps if we can find the RNS. Oh, I assumed it would be at the bottom of this page, but it doesn't seem to be there. That's annoying. Let's try. Let's try. Let me do it this way instead. Yeah, let's do search. Yeah, I think I went for this turquoisey thing for some reason. I don't even know what that is. Right. Take two. Right. So, yeah, the RNS is essentially that all assets are energized. See, again, it's gone doolally on me. Company page, there we go. And what we want to see is this assets energized and ITC update. So yeah, all assets are now energized. Now there's a time period before they become revenue generating. So there's I've got it in my model as a 3-month window where Dogfish and Enderby, so 75 megawatts and 57 megawatts are now energized, bringing us up to 753.4 megawatts, 924.1 megawatt hours. So, because some batteries are 2-hour batteries, not 1-hour batteries, is why this number is bigger than this number. And of course, this is this 3/4 roughly of a gigawatt is 60% of the 1.25 pre-construction of the assets that are in pre-construction. So hence this 61% here. There's also an update on the ITC, or the investment tax credit, that there's been no change. There's no Trump tariff. There's no change to the Inflation Reduction Act. You'll perhaps remember that quite some months ago, I was quite strongly of the opinion that the idea that it was in doubt was pretty much a nonsense, that it's not that easy to dismantle the inflation. It wouldn't be that easy for Trump to dismantle the Inflation Reduction Act, even if he felt he wanted to, that he doesn't have a huge Republican majority. So it would only take one or two dissenting Republicans, or Republicans that wanted XYZ exclusion, for exclusions from the wholesale dismantling of the. So I felt that there were so many Republican states that were profiting from the Inflation Reduction Act that it would just be a non-starter, and it that seems to have been proven correct. So the naysayers that said it was in doubt were just, they just didn't understand the I suppose the, not that I'm any great expert on American politics, but I read about how hard it was to get the Inflation Reduction Act through, and in fact, Biden gave up on it, and it was Minchin and Tim Minchin and Schumer, I think it was Chuck Schumer, that it was basically a cross-partisan. They got together and said, look, let's make this happen, and they kind of negotiated and found a frame of words that worked for them, worked for the Democrats, worked for the Republicans, and it got through. Happy days. Um, but yeah, it's anyway. That's good, because what that means is for GSF, that ITC is worth somewhere between, I mean, this is $60 million divided by 1.26. The exchange rate is 47.6 million pounds. I mean, maybe, yes, we can chuck some expenses into that as well, maybe a couple of million, but because it was 60 million to 80 million, I think 47 is a reasonable number. Maybe it'll be 45. I mean, if you want to be really, let's say 45. But yeah, 45 as a proportion of the market cap. I mean, this is a 220 million market cap, or 240 million market cap. It's gone up. Um, that 45 is a nice chunk of change, and that is on top of the last cash balance, which was 36. Now they do have 66 of borrowings, so there is some there's an RCF, but there is some headroom in that. Uh, from memory, I think the headroom is 34 million, so they've got some headroom if they want to. We talked in a pre. I talked in a previous. You didn't talk. I talked in a previous video about the fact that there was an opportunity to upgrade to 2-hour batteries. That the capex, by my estimate, it's only an estimate, was 350, and that was on the basis that 1 hour of battery would come at a cost of about 100,000, between 100 and 130,000 per megawatt. And essentially there's another 230-ish thousand for all the other labor and material costs of upgrading a 1-hour battery to a 2-hour battery. There's probably more to it than just literally putting some extra cells on it. You've got to add controllers and wiring, and there's the labor cost of that, doing all of that, the safety and sign off. So as with all these things, there's always a bit of complexity, but there's certainly a precedent of upgrading 1 hour to 2-hour batteries at other BESS shares, so it's certainly doable. These guys have done it. Gresham House Grid have done quite a bit of upgrading of their 1-hour batteries to 2-hour batteries. Harmony have basically started from scratch with 2-hour batteries. They went for 2-hour from the beginning. Really interesting, actually. If you look at the 12-month window of HEIT of Harmony, it's very different. I mean, obviously, if we take a 2-year view of it, it's obviously gone down and then up. So I think I wrote about it somewhere around here. Might not have been right at the trough, but I think I wrote about it here, and kind of sold out here, and then it's sort of drifted, and now it's gone up again. But yeah, it's interesting that this is going up, but this is UK specific batteries. Yes, it's 2-hour batteries. If we look at the performance of what's happening in Great Britain, part of the UK, this is the 2-hour battery, so 82k today. This is a megawatt year value, by the way, and what we can see is that the red is the balancing, green is the trading, yellow is the reserve, and then blue is the response. So obviously we see some very different metrics. If we just fast forward that to just show, let's say 1st of December onwards, so we can see that there's a really high average value, and actually just to kind of to call this out today, they gave a trading update and their year-end report, net asset value. So very, very interesting. It's what I've maintained for a while, that my analysis was that these energy experts that are telling us that the power prices are going down. Well, I mean, you've only got to look at the news headlines today, and gas prices are going up. Our energy caps going up, and the world's up in arms. Poor Ed Miliband's getting tough questions about why he promised cuts and he's delivered increases. And he's shuffling his feet and saying it's the world energy prices, it's the Tories, it's this, it's that. To be fair to poor Ed Miliband, I think he did talk about it being a 2030 promise that he was. That's my understanding, that there's a 5-year energy plan. So that's what I've read. But when defending his policy, he didn't say that. He said, "Oh, it's the Tories' fault and it's the world energy prices' fault. It's not our fault. It's not Labour's fault. It's not Ed Miliband's fault, and it's certainly not a 5-year promise," which I thought was strange. But that's what my understanding of what he had said, and not what he actually said today in defending his policy, which you make your own conclusion on that. But anyway, this is the bit that I was interested in. So Harmony reported 57% higher revenues per megawatt hour in the in the period of time to January. So it's October, 3 months ending January. So November, December, January, 57% higher than October, September, August. Okay, so 3 months to 3 months, 57% higher. Later on, they talk about it being year on year, much, much, much higher. So compared to, so January was 5% higher than December. So and we kind of see that in the best analytics as well. The revenues were 65% from November to 84,000 in December, and then another 5% in January. So up, 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 up and away. And I think if we have year on year as well is in here somewhere. I think I highlighted it yellow, but I can't see it now. But record 176 negatively priced hours. From memory, I think it was something like 60 or 70 in 2023, and then it was sort of 20 in 2022. So it's gone up, and certainly gone up again. Gone up a lot. 176 hours. I mean, if you think there's 52 weeks in the year, obviously, that's 3.5 hours a week where people are getting paid to take power. Think about that. So you're not selling electricity, you're being paid to receive electricity for free. Now, it'd be nice if householders could have negatively priced electricity. It's a pity it's only the traders and the wholesalers that get this. It would be nice if Joe Public could say, "Well, I'll have some free power, thank you very much." we'd we'd probably all be rushing out buying batteries tomorrow, wouldn't we? Anyway, that's just me being a bit facetious, and hopefully part of Labour's 5-year plan is that they'll sort of realise that it's not just about encouraging grid level storage, but it's actually about creating a what they call behind the meter market for householders and businesses to store power and then to be able to sell it back again. Um, and if you've got an electric vehicle, I mean, there's your battery. You don't even need to go out and buy a battery. You just use your electric vehicle. But obviously, you don't want to go, using up your electrical or the battery cycles from the goodness of your heart. You want to get paid for it. So if you were, charging your Tesla, I mean, I'll call it a Tesla, your electric vehicle, yeah, I'll just say a Tesla. If you're charging your Tesla and so you're paying money for that, unless you're getting it for free. Um, for you to then send that power back to the grid to help the grid, reasonably a householder should get paid for that. So that's the bit that the government haven't sorted and perhaps will never sort. And the industry is probably, it's not in their interests to ever allow that to happen. So they probably won't make it happen. But if they technologically we could make it happen, and if we did, that would be very transformative for power prices, because then it would just be a case of, well, buy it cheap, sell it when it's expensive, and we wouldn't get peaks and troughs because it'd all get flattened out by clever householders taking power for free when it's going for nothing or negative, and then selling it back to the grid when everyone wants to make a cup of tea when EastEnders has just finished or something. That's anyway. I'm digressing. So let's get back to Gore Street eventually. So yeah, really positive from Harmony. I kind of expected to see an RNS like this. I've been looking at this is sort of the corresponding period of time, and like, I've been looking at this going like, it's a matter of time until somebody drops the results that show that these power expert forecasters are just talking nonsense. They're guessing at what the future is, and they're getting it wrong as they and I sort of went back 12 months to the 2023 report, where they said this is what we forecast will happen in 2024. And then I looked at 2024 and it was like completely different. They said, oh, it will drop down to this, and it done the opposite. So yeah, I don't want to be the clever clogs here, but I just kind of didn't see that the evidence was there that the prices were going to go collapsing downwards. Maybe they still will. As I said, it'd be lovely if you know another 3 or 4 years, and yeah, we can all you know get our electricity bill at the end of each quarter, and it's like, oh, we've only been charged £40 for 3 months of electricity. That'd be lovely. But do you think that'll happen? I don't. I think that the amount of power that we're using is just more and more and more, and more people buying electric vehicles, it's going to be more and more and more still. The ongoing electrification of the economy is more and more and more still. Like, when demand goes up for something, prices don't go down, and we're shutting down nuclear power. We're, switching off coal. There's a lot of supply that's coming offline, and obviously, yes, we are adding renewables. We are, um, but yeah, it's I was very deeply skeptical that prices were going to go plummeting down in the way that they were being described, when you've got increasing demand, decreasing supply. It's basic economics. I don't need to be a power expert to say, when you've got an economy with increasing power demand and decreasing power supply, you're going to get higher prices, and a best provider can profit from that. So anyway, that's yeah, as I say, not at all a surprise. Great news for Gore Street. But I mean, it's interesting because obviously, looking at this, this has gone the opposite way of Harmony, isn't it, over 12 months? So this is the 1 year chart, and if we went 2 years, because obviously Harmony went down and then it's gone up, I mean, this has just gone down. Now, what's the difference? Obviously, some of the difference was that not all the assets were energized. Another difference was that Gore Street continued to pay a dividend. Harmony pulled their dividend, and that's why the Harmony share price went vertically downwards and then recovered upwards. I suppose they just cut the dividend to stabilize it. Another reason would be Harmony's got itself up for sale. Gore Street hasn't. Gore Street is looking to continue in business. It's another difference would be Gore Street is international, so US, Texas, California, Great Britain, Ireland, Germany, five grids, 5 countries, four countries, 5 grids. Um, whereas Harmony is just the UK. So again, that's different. So um, being five grids was an advantage, but latterly has been less of an advantage when you've got lower rates. So yes, pluses and minuses. So Gore Street's not the same animal as Harmony, but certainly when you look at Harmony going up in price and Gresham House as well, I think it's fair to say. If we look at this, again we can see a bowl forming. Or we can see at least sort of stabilization now to price and pricing. So yeah, it feels to me that this is into bargain territory, and I kind of expect that we'll see some positive. The As I say, the headroom from the ITC credits is one reason for that, but the increase in rates is another, and that's all for the positive. My own personal view is I'd love to see uh, as much as possible being upgraded to 2 hour, because the simple truth is that the 1 hour rates look like this. Average today is 61,000. 2 hour looks like this, 82,000. So longer duration is more valuable on a per hourly basis. The cost of upgrading from 1 hour to 2 hour is not double the price of the 1 hour. The marginal cost is less. So lots of reasons why they should do that. So that kind of was the point I was hoping to make in this video. That Gore Street seems incredibly good value, and I suspect won't remain at its sub 50 pence current share price. Anyway, that's enough from me, Oak Bloke. Signing off. Cheerio for now. Cheerio.